Hi there, I'm going to talk to you about one of the more difficult concepts in Spanish is por and para. I think of this as almost as tricky as ser versus estar in Spanish because you have two words that in English mean the same thing, just for. However, in Spanish, they are two different words, for, and used for different um, uh, events, so in different situations. So we have the two words por and para. And the easiest thing to do, usually, Google is amazing. You can go to Google and just type in por versus para, and a million different charts will pop up for you under images. And you can see a list of all the differences. And I'm not sharing those because of copyright laws, and I don't have an open access educational resource for this video, but you can do that and go on to Google again and just type in por versus para in Spanish and then click on images and it'll come up with a nice list for you. You can choose whichever one you like. So here is my list, a little less formal. So por, we have a duration of time. So for how long, right? And there's no easy way to do this. This just comes down to memorizing the uses of each one because of, or the reason or the cause. Like I did this because of such and such, right? And just going through the list that was in our lesson. Through, I went through the city, so movement. I went through the door, or by way of the door, you could say. Through is in a movement. Okay. I went by means of. Like I went by bus, right? All right. On the other side, para, we're going to say the reasons for using are the recipient of something. It is for me, like a gift. It is due by, or a deadline. Okay. And I think those were the only two that they gave you on this list. Again, there are some others, more extensive lists, but in this particular class, these are the only ones that we had. Oh, thought I missed one, purpose. I thought there was one more on there. A purpose. Used with an infinitive, and that's your key on that one. If you see an infinitive, bam, it's going to be para. All right, so let's talk about what happens here. When you are looking at your sentence, you literally, the best thing I can tell you to do is to plug in this word in English. Does it fit? If that word fits in your sentence, then you know it's por or para. For example, necesito tu carro para ir al concierto. Okay, let's pretend that we don't know that this is para, right? Let's take that off. All right, so we would just have a blank here. We already know it's para because I wrote it in there, but let's look and see, why is it para? Necesito tu carro. I need your car for the purpose of going to the concert. So I can fill in the sentence with for the purpose of, okay, or the purpose is to go to the concert. Does it make sense there? Yes. If I said, I need your car for the duration of time to go to the concert, that doesn't make any sense, right? If I said, I need your car for 2 days, that would be a day, por 2 días, right? That would be a duration of time, but here it doesn't fit in the sentence. So can you fill in the blank with one of those reasons for using por or para? And that's how you know if it's por or para. So again, you do have to memorize those reasons for the use of each one. Let's try another example. ¿Quieres pasar blank el parque? Question mark. Do you want to go blank the parque? Okay, well, which one fits in there? Do you want to go for the duration of time, the park? Do you want to go because of the park? Do you want to go through the park? Do you want to go by the park? By means of the park? Okay, So which of those makes sense? Or do you want to go the recipient of the park? Do you want to go do the park? Do you want to go the purpose of the park? None of those make sense. Obviously, our best fit is through the park. So we know that our answer is por. Okay, so again, memorize the uses of por para. You can find a chart online that you like that's nice and organized and clean looking. You can make up silly mnemonic devices to help you remember it, or simply just memorize it in your head. Duration, time, because of. For me, I have to write down things to memorize them, so I just write it down, repeat it, write it down, quiz myself, write it down. Is my list correct? Did I forget one of them? And so on. Kind of self-correct yourself. Which is redundant. Self-correct yourself. All right, so that's it for today. That's real simplified, but this is a very complicated concept. Like, again, like ser and estar, there are all these different uses of each one, and we just have to memorize it. It's one of those things that there's no easy solution for it. But I do think that this trick of just filling in the blank with that reason is much more helpful than just trying to figure it out by reading the sentence. Let's read it, fill it in the blank in English, right? Which one makes the most sense?